Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. To open today's webinar, the Australian dollar remains on track since it recently broke that 73.10 level. The market records a low of 72.39 this morning. In light of the rejection from yesterday's 73.10.20 resistance, which was the break level, now looks for the further weakness into the coming session, with the immediate support holding at 72.20 with further scope towards 71.80 to 71.40 and reassess from there. The reason behind that we could be even looking lower from 71.40 down towards 70.25 with an objective put in place at 69.50.80, but that's a little bit further down the track. However, with a ADX fully in view of an uptrend, stochastic oscillator breaking down further, and also with the histogram in the MACD supporting further negativity in the Australian dollar, should eventually see that objective reached around 71.40 to 71.80 and reassessed, as we could see a mild bounce from there. On the day, resistance comes in now at 72.70 with the firmer cap, of course, from yesterday holding at 73.20. With the dollar index still remaining above that 102.10 level and still holding quite firm, has put further pressure to the downside, with euro now looking towards 103.45.60. A break beneath there would give further scope down towards 102.40, and it is viewed from there that a break would see a target around 101.60 or maybe down towards parity before any attempt of a recovery. So keep an eye on those two levels of 103.45 to 102.40 today, and with a cap seen around 104.70 to 105.20. Dollar yen still showing certain concerns of weakness. However, if we broaden this out a little bit, this longevity of this uptrend has only seen very short-term pullbacks. With the support already broken at 116.80 overnight, would need to see further follow on to the downside, and a move under 116.60 would give scope towards 115.25.40. Reassess from there, as the market may stage a firm rebound from that level and move back on track to take on the challenge of that 119.120 objective. Resistance now comes in on 117.50.60 and firmer at 118.30. So we really need to see a pullback to eventually get that move to 115.25 before demand or bullish challenge returning. Sterling still weaker overnight, as the market briefly looked underneath that 123.60 level after recording a 123.55 in New York. It is viewed that the market will continue to the downside in the next 24 to 48 hours and look towards a 123.55 to 122.80 to 122.10 objective. It is viewed beneath there that we could actually see further fall, and also to the lows seen around the flash crash that we saw, which got to around about that 120 level, or we could even fall lower around the Brexit low as well. So be very interesting to see if further weakness can continue, with the oscillators still pretty much supporting a negative sentiment. The bias should eventually come through to that target of 122.10. Resistance on the day holds at 124.35 minor, with firmer cap around 124.80. Gold still attempting to recover over the last 24 hours. The market did get a high towards that 1,144 resistance. However, still holding quite firm there, and also noting that the fact that the indicators are breaking down, could see a retreat from 11.44 and challenge the 11.34 minor support with 11.28 beneath. A break from 28 would give further risk to the downside, but it is viewed from 11.20 that the market will fall further, giving it a $50 to $70 objective and targeting around that 1050 region. Towards the upside, the market's got a lot of work to do to change this view, and a break above 1150 to 53 will give scope up towards 59.62, but likely to find resistance quite challenging there. And to cap with oil, the market went back to re-challenge the top side overnight and got to the 53.60 resistance and backed away quite sharply. In light of the current rejection, I still hold the view that the market will look towards this 49.60 support. However, in the event we break above 53.60, this would leave me in a neutral view, and I would like to see how the market plays out before coming out with any firmer call. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a great day ahead, and also look out for the intraday report that will be released very shortly.